Hi, Jane. How are you?
I'm okay. Been struggling a little bit. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for coming in to meet with me today. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to talking with you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of struggle. I know that my parents have both passed away and within 6 months of each other. My dad
Yeah.
died in September and my mom in February and
Mhm.
um it's just really been weighing on me lately.
Yeah, that sounds tough. That would be really hard to deal with and kind of process for sure. Um, can you start by talking to me about maybe any siblings that you have or maybe your relationship with your parents?
Um, well, towards the end, it was, they kind of all consumed me to kind of take care of them.
Yeah.
And, I don't have any siblings, so it was just all kind of left to me.
Okay.
Um, I, my dad has a sister
Okay.
and a brother, two brothers. But we're not really close. So it kind of wasn't helpful for me to have the two of them, or the
Right.
three of them, I should say. And
Right.
then my grandma's still alive, but we're really, again, not really that close. So it was kind of just me taking care of everything and,
And that's your
being an only
paternal.
child. Yeah.
That's your paternal grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're not close. They're not close either.
Not really. I mean, we talk every once in a while, but it's not like they come over and do things with me or anything like that. They're at the funerals, of course, and things like that. But,
Sure.
now I'm kind of just left to my own devices, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So,
hard. That's hard. Okay. Tell me about your relationship with your mom.
it was good. It was good. She was always there for me when I needed her. And vice versa. We did a lot of fun things together. We went camping. We'd like to spend a lot of time out in nature.
Okay.
She was a really good person, and I miss her
Good.
a lot.
So you guys were always close then?
Yeah,
Were you
yeah,
always close with dad too, or no?
yeah, yeah. We the same. We, as a family, would do camping trips and spend time in
Yeah.
nature. And I think after my mom died, my dad and I became even closer.
Yeah.
And um,
So your mom passed first.
yes, yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I must have switched that up. Yes, my
No, you're
mom
okay.
passed in February, and my dad in September. I kind of
Okay.
mixed them.
No, you're
Everything have kind of just been a blur since they both passed, and
yeah.
I feel kind of sad. I just don't have, I feel kind of depressed. I mean, I know
Right.
grieving is a long
Mhm.
process, and I know
Yes.
there's not a quote unquote proper way to grieve, but it's just right now it's just consuming me, and I feel like I just need to kind of let some stuff off my chest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, especially when they were your they both were close with you, and that's tough when you lose kind of your main source of family, especially with no siblings. That's tough.
Yeah, it
Tough.
is hard.
Yeah. Does your mom have siblings?
She does not. No,
Okay.
she's an only child, and both of her parents are passed, so I don't really have anybody on her side.
Right. Okay.
So it's
Okay.
just it's just kind of lonely. I feel
Yeah.
really lonely. I'm having a hard time kind of getting out of bed and
Yeah.
going on with everyday activities.
Yeah. That's so
I
hard.
do I do have my husband. He's a
Okay.
huge support system for me. So he kind of gets me through the days that I'm low and helps
Yeah.
me kind of find happiness in every day. And he was there the whole way with me, supporting
Good.
me. So
Good. Do you guys have kids?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you have kids?
Yes. Yes, we have two boys. Yeah, yeah. And
Two.
they were sad too. It's kind of hard to manage it as a family together because they were really close to my dad and
Yeah.
their
Yeah. How
papa
old
and
are they?
stuff. 19 and 15.
Okay.
So they're old enough to realize what's going on. And it was
Yeah.
hard for them. It was hard to manage everything.
Yeah. So they're grieving too, then.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's hard. Okay. Um, can you tell me a little bit about Anything that you guys did as a family that was important to you, or any traditions that you guys had, anything coming up that maybe typically you would celebrate with your family, and now things are going to be different for you.
I think, like I said, the camping trips are always fun for us and doing things in nature. And this time of year in the summer, that's when we usually did a lot of our fun things together and nature
Mhm.
walks and hikes and climbing, small mountains, not big ones.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
this is a hard time for us because when I'm out in nature, I try to think of all the happy memories, but also at the same time, it gets me sometimes depressed. I wish that,
yeah,
I sometimes think of I would never do it, but ending it to because I'm just in so much sadness. I'm
yeah,
having a lot of trouble at work too. I went to school while this was all happening, and I
right.
graduated with a liberal science degree, but
Hmm.
I'm not using my degree. I'm working at the Family Dollar, but I feel like right now I'm just so depressed. I don't have any motivation to get a job. I don't have a motivation to do anything.
Right, right.
And I see what you're saying with, the fun, happy memories and going out in nature and things, but sometimes it makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes you more sad than it helps.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Um, so you mentioned to me that you're married, right?
Yes.
Your husband's a huge support. He helps you through some of those moments. Um,
Yes.
okay. Um, Tell me more about your relationship so how was your relationship with your mom and your dad? They were married.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have been married my whole life.
Okay.
So they've been together for a very long time. When a lot of people were getting divorced and they stayed
Yeah.
together and they stuck it through. That doesn't say they didn't have their issues, but they
Sure.
stuck it out. And
Right.
I did read somewhere that sometimes when one partner dies and they're that close, that sometimes the other goes. And I
Yeah.
wonder if, that had
They
a
can
little
be
bit to do with
together.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have also heard that. I am wondering about how's your relationship with your husband? I mean, is it okay? I know you said that he's a huge support for you. How's your relationship with him and with your kids?
Amazing. Amazing.
Uh,
We have an amazing relationship. We've been together about 20 years.
Okay.
Um, we, our relationship with our kids is really good. And he, like I said, has been a huge support through this. Me just coming home and crying to him. And, you know, I had to separate myself, not on purpose, from a lot of my friends because it was family and then taking care of my parents. So right now I don't, I had friends, but they
Yeah.
felt kind of bad because I kind of put them to the wayside to manage my family things. But for the most part, my husband and my kids have been the consistent through all this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's great. I'm so glad. Um, so you mentioned to me that you are working at Family Dollar. What do you do there? Are you a cashier?
Yeah, cashier and I stock shelves. Now that they have
Okay.
those self checkout things, but for the most part, well, I stock shelves. So
Okay.
I just
Okay.
feel like I'm not utilizing
Your
my
degree.
degree to its fullest, and I feel kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And I think all this has consumed me for so long, and
Yeah.
now I've had to move forward, and now it's like, where do I go from here? The
Right.
last almost year or more, I've been managing my parents and things that have been going on with them and their
Right.
sicknesses. And now it's like, okay, now I can focus on me, but where do I start?
That's tough. Right. After all this time that you've had zero time to focus on yourself, now it's all coming back to you, full
Yeah.
force. Yep. So you said that you have a bachelor's degree in what's your degree in?
Liberal science.
Okay. Okay. And you're not using that. Is that in that that's something that you would like to use eventually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
would like to use that. I think finding a career that's meaningful to me is
Yes.
definitely one of my goals in life.
Yeah. Okay. And then you talked about, so for hobbies, you like being in nature, you like camping, you like doing those things, but you're struggling right now to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
also like to garden. I think that
Okay.
I found that, sometimes if I go out and garden for a while, it kind of makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you have hobbies that can kind of take your mind off things. Um, do you know if either of your parents or grandparents or any other relatives have been, diagnosed with any mental illness or have ever struggled with any mental illness?
I know according to my parents,
Mhm.
that we had some anxiety stuff in the family.
Okay.
I know that my dad's siblings suffered from some depression and anxiety,
Okay.
but not anything too significant for
Okay.
them. They mentioned a little bit like, oh, Uncle Joe is anxious to kind of do things around the family or a lot of people, but other than that, not anything
Okay.
significant.
Okay. Um, so I want to circle back just a few minutes ago, how we were talking about how you're feeling a little bit lost, you're feeling down, you're feeling maybe, helpless, like your grief is just lasting what feels like forever.
Yeah.
And I know that you mentioned that sometimes you feel like want to end things just to make things easier. I know that you mentioned you would never do it, but do you feel like you're a threat to yourself or others right now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just me just so low that I don't see a way out.
Right.
I think, this therapy sessions would be helpful to help me find a way out of this, finding who I am again,
Yeah.
independently from taking care of my parents for so long.
Right. Right. Okay. So tell me again how long it's been since your parents have passed.
It's been about a year.
Okay.
About a year.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like you have kind of accomplished any of the stages of grief, right? You've accepted that they've passed. So there's no do you feel like there's any denial there? Do you feel like there's any kind of hindering to that process for you of accepting that they're gone at this point?
I think a little bit. I think
Okay.
that they yeah, I think, it's hard to accept that the people you love are gone. I
Right.
think that, kind of just hovering around that, as you would say, the first stage.
Right, right. Okay. Okay. Do you feel like through the past year that they have been gone, your life has returned it all back to normal, or do you feel like it's been pretty stagnant, pretty stuck in one place in your grief process?
I think I'm trying. I'm
Yeah.
trying to make it better. I'm
Yeah.
trying. I'm trying to reconnect with some friends. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for a career. I'm trying to, I don't know. I'm just trying to move forward. I'm trying. And I think this is a piece of it is me talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about when you knew that it was time for you to go to therapy. When did you feel like your grief was not processing the way that it should have been?
I think when I had thoughts about ending my life, like,
Okay.
whoa, this has really gotten out of hand
Sure.
and I really need to maybe just talk to somebody and figure out what's going on
Right.
with me and how, I know that everybody kind of grieves differently, but what that looks like for me and how I can move forward with my own independence and
Yeah.
regaining what I had before I had to commit a lot of my life to them.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So, and it sounds like to me that, if we continue therapy together, it's not only just about the loss of your parents, but it's kind of just a new chapter of your life altogether, right? We're rediscovering yourself and what you like to do and kind of, redeveloping parts of your life, like your job and, trying to develop more relationships for you. So it sounds like, there's going to be a lot for us to work on together.
Yeah, I agree. I think that going forward, that would be a good goal for us to have is what that looks like for me in
Good.
my, without my parents and
Mhm.
trying to figure out a career and
Yeah,
those type of things. Yeah, I think going forward,
absolutely.
that would be good for us. And the grieving
Yeah,
would be, helpful. And, you know, is it okay just to cry and scream and that type of thing? So yeah, I think going
feel your
forward,
feelings.
that would be really helpful.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that The only other thing I want to chat with you about is I didn't get the age. I got the age of your kiddos. I didn't get your or your husband's age. And then I would just like age if that's okay.
Yeah, so the age of myself is 40 and the
Okay.
age of my husband is also 40.
Okay.
And then my parents died. My dad was 80
Okay.
and my mom was 79. So
79.
kind of young,
Yeah.
but they were sick, so
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that this was a great first kind of meeting for us. I'm looking forward to kind of chatting with you more in the future about how we can help you through this and kind of get your life back on track a little bit.
thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time with me.
Of course. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.